Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a Q&A. I've had 7, it's very specific, but 7 questions that have come up in the past, I think like 2, maybe 3 weeks, and I was like, I'm not gonna hold on to them. I'm just gonna do them, right now. Who cares, right? We're gonna go for it. It's lucky number 7. So we're just gonna jump in. I'm gonna answer these questions that you all sent either on Goodreads or Facebook. They're all anonymous because they were sent through direct message, so I'm gonna honor that, and I'm just gonna read them in my cute little cauldron. So the first question, well, it's actually number 3, but it says, if I can read my handwriting, why aren't you on Instagram or TikTok? I've heard self-published writers can make a lot of money on there, especially TikTok. TikTok is becoming worse, if not already worse, than Twitter is currently, and I left Twitter almost, I think it's pushing 2 years now, maybe like 1.5 years, because it's a hell site. I'm not going to go on willingly to hell sites. I've learned my lesson with Twitter and also actually Wattpad, if we're gonna be honest. And Instagram is just too materialistic for me. I don't like that it's so focused on material items and if it looks good or bad, or if you look good or bad. And it's very, the first word that comes to mind is plastic. Very plastic. Too much filters. I don't like it. So that's why I'm not going to join Instagram specifically, but also TikTok because it's very materialistic as well. Lots of toxicity, lots of drama. People just want to yell at you. People just want to argue with you. They're not there to have a conversation. I mean, you can't really have a conversation on TikTok because they're like really short videos, right? I'm not an expert, okay? But I've known a lot of people just post something benign, like they love Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, and then they're dogpiled for a month straight because, they're canceled, whatever. It does not make any sense. I like Romeo and Juliet. I've read it like 5 times, but that's supposedly a hot take, and I'm not really interested in that. Also, the privacy concerns with TikTok, not a thing. No, thank you. So number one, will all your main characters be in their late teens, or will you branch out into early 20s soon? Yes, actually, my 4th book, that's also going to be a series. It's an urban fantasy crime book series, to be exact. Tessa O'Hara, she's in her early, bridging on mid-20s, and she is fresh, fresh, somewhat fresh, out of college after earning a bachelor's degree in journalism, and she is my next main character for the foreseeable future. And I wanted to do something a little older. I wanted to write an older main character because I'm older now, but also because, yes, something new, something that I haven't done before, and I don't think that it's gonna be anything completely different because Lily was 17, on the verge of 18, but during the 1700s, you're an adult, basically, so she was considered an adult. Sarah and Ness are 18, and they're considered adults during their time as well, but I know people can't completely grasp that because that's not the case now. So I do want to write someone that is actually like considered an adult, so people can actually think of my books as adult books, because a lot of people think that they're young adult and they're not. Actually, that is a question that was asked that I'm gonna like randomly pull out. I'm just gonna do this big one because it was a question and then like a following comment. How did your launch for Danu's Curse go? I know it's only the start of September, but I'm curious how self-published writers are doing during these hard times, and you've mentioned you're having a hard time. Yeah. Yes, that is true. I'm just starting out. I think it's only been a year, and I have 2 novels and 4 chapbooks out. So that's pretty good, right? Well, Alpha Beta Poetry has been out since 2014, but still, that's a lot of books in a year. I am doing okay, I guess. I'm a perfectionist. I always want more, but I have high expectations for myself, and my therapist said it's totally fine to have high expectations for yourself, but that means you need to have high forgiveness, and that was something he said 10 years ago. So like I said in the video, the book cover for Danu's Curse that had the border and KDP was just not having it, and my cover artist and I were really upset, and we were really trying hard to get it done, and it was completed. The paperback is out. It was just a day late, so it was published September 2nd. I'm gonna call that a win. I mean, it could have been like, it could have taken weeks or months, and that would have made me cry. But no, my cover artist got it together, worked it out, sent it over, and actually KDP, Amazon, approved it. I think it was less than 24 hours, and they say that it can be up to 72 hours, so I was really happy about that. I was like, thank you. Thank you, Amazon gods. I did a soft launch for Danu's Curse because I just don't have the money to pour into it, so soft launch is like less than $100 for everything. And I did a few promo sites, but everything else, it was pre-orders that I had, and social media, and also word of mouth. And I did. Big congrats to me, yours truly, and to the book as well. Danu's Curse for 2.5 days actually was #1 new release for the category History of Ireland for the Kindle, the ebook version. The books, like the physical copies, are really hard to rank, but the Kindle version or the ebook version jumped really high, and I think the momentum is there. The algorithm for Amazon, I have been told, but like no one can 100% prove it. If you rank fairly high, so like top 50 or more, for 7 days, then Amazon, the algorithm, the Zoid, whatever, realizes that it's a good book and it will kind of do its own marketing. Now, I hope that's the case. I don't know, and like I said, it's not proven. It's just like a really big rumor. I'm open and welcoming, I should say, to anything that doesn't cost money for marketing. I hope that I can spend a little bit more with the 2 foxes that will hopefully be released at the end of the year, but I can't say for certain, so that might be another soft launch as well. And I know a lot of self-published writers are, yeah, they're having problems. Like, do they want to have a like a normal launch, which is, I don't know, I mean, it depends on the person, the genre, and how big of a backlog they have, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, I would say like a normal launch, let's go with $1,000. That $1,000 is food, it's rent, it's the electric bill. So much stuff is just outrageously expensive that, yeah, there's a lot of authors, self-published or small press. I'm not too sure about traditional publishing because you know, trad publishing has the money. But the small press and the self-published writers, yeah, we are, for the most part, the newer people are having some problems. And I have seen a few, like, really well-known self-published writers that have had to pause because they got COVID, or, you know, someone that they love got COVID. There have been a few where, you know, their children or their child is just really struggling in school, so they've decided to homeschool them to catch them. Like, there's just a lot of stuff going on, and it's not even necessarily like the small writers of us that like are brand new. I'm brand new to self-publishing, 1 year in. Yeah, there are people that have been in for a decade and they're doing extremely well, but they need to pause, or they need to really slow down, because life is hitting everyone in the face. And I don't think that's just self-publishing, or it's not just writers and it's not just artists, it's everyone. So I think the moral of that little rant is give everyone grace because everyone's just doing the best they can, right? And hoping for the best, and like we don't like our minds don't explode in the process because we're so stressed out. Am I projecting? Possibly. But I'm really happy that I could publish Danu's Curse, and I do give Amazon credit that you can, you know, publish for free. I mean, they take royalties and all that stuff, but it's better than some other places where the upload fee and all that stuff, like, no thank you. Okay, number 6, what are you working on right now? Well, as I said before, I'm working on my 4th, actually, and 5th book. It's in a series. It follows Tessa O'Hara, and yeah, it's a urban fantasy mystery with vampires, werewolves, fairies, witches, elves, you know, the grand scheme of all the mythological creatures. But in this book series, they're not mythological, they're legit. Number 2, oh yeah, and so this is the one question I was referring to. Do you write young adult, new adult, or adult? I write adult. I would say just because there is a teenager for the main character doesn't mean that it's young adult. My books don't follow the young adult or new adult schematic or the tropes or the cliches. I'm sure that there's some tropes in there, but like the majority of them, no. Writing style is also not young adult. No, it's always put in, like, well, especially Goodreads for Patriot's Tale is put in the young adult section. Like, people have put it there, and I'm just like, I can't control you all, but that's not correct. So, and I think honestly it does have a little bit to do like with the old, like more older people. They see the 17-year-old and then they're like, oh, it's also a female character and the writer is female. Okay, I get the vibe here. We're gonna put it in young adult because that's like the stereotype, I guess. Which, to each their own, but it's not correct. I write adult. Number 5. When will The Two Foxes be published? I'm hoping at the end of this year. I have to talk to my cover artist about that. It's really just about the cover and waiting to get the cover. Okay, number 4. Do you intentionally create characters that go back and forth acting their age, or is that an unconscious pantser thing? When I read that, I was a little confused, but then my ARC readers mentioned that Ness goes back and forth by being really mature and being naive. And for Ness, it makes sense because she has been sheltered because she has magical abilities, and she is the clan leader's niece. She's been protected basically all of her life up until, you know, the book happens. So yeah, she doesn't know much about the outside world. She has met people that have come in from other clans, so it's not like she's never seen anyone, or, you know, it's not that vibe. It's that she has not been off of her uncle's lands ever until Danu's curse happens. So yeah, there is some stunted growth, but also the fact, yeah, she's just 18 and she has these very powerful magical abilities. The Fae are kind of at her beck and call, but she's not that type of person where she's like, come here, I need water, like, you know, or like demanding attention, or, you know, stuff like that. That's not her. But yeah, basically they are at her beck and call because she has been blessed by Danu, who's the mother goddess, and she could have whatever she wants, but that's not her. But yeah, she's 18. I mean, like, but even at 20 or 25, even 28, you're still mature. I mean, you're always maturing, but it's just different stages. I don't think that it's in an annoying way because she's still so young and she hasn't really lived a full life. Even at 18, she hasn't gone anywhere. Like, she can go into the forest on her uncle's lands, but that's it. She can't really do anything else. Very sheltered, but she's not nasty. But as a sheltered teenager up until this point, yeah, I mean, she acts like a teenager sometimes, and that's the same with Lily. She's 17 on the verge of 18. She's had a lot of trauma. She's going through the Revolutionary War, but yeah, she makes teenager mistakes. I think a lot of people don't understand teenagers in books. Like, were you once a teenager? Like, I know you were because you're still alive. So I don't understand why people don't like when teenagers act like teenagers. Even in like the best case scenario, maybe they're whiny about something, like, oh, I don't want to do this because but they still do it. I mean, I'm sure you all have done the exact same thing, so I don't know why we're not giving forgiveness or grace or understanding to characters in a book that are, you know, 17, 18 years old. But that's just my thought. I don't know, maybe it's confusing for people. It's normal to have teenagers, especially when they've gone through a lot, to go back and forth between acting like an adult and acting like a teenager. It's really difficult to work out your trauma and act like an adult because you were forced to grow up really fast, but then you also don't have like a developed brain. So, you know, things are happening in your mind and in the outside world, and you're trying to figure, you know, everything out. And I mean, if adults can barely do it, then I don't know. Give grace to the teenagers in books, not just my book, but in just books in general when they mess up. That is all 7 of my questions that have been answered today in this here video. Thank you so much for watching, for sticking around. If you have any questions, please send them however you wish. You can do it publicly, like Facebook, on Goodreads, or YouTube in the comments, or you can just direct message me on Goodreads or on Facebook, whichever you prefer. And when I get a nice collection, then I'll do another Q&A video. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great reading and writing day. Bye!